viewing area really pretty much stops right here at Oilton. We have a few viewers in Oilton. I know for a fact because they call down here occasionally, so we know that you get us over here in Oilton and Drumright. Once it gets past Oilton, a few folks used to get us up in Manford, but Manford is literally on Tulsa's front door. Up here in Northern Creek County on the south side of Keystone Lake. So we do have a few viewers in Oilton. You folks in Oilton and Yale, what you need to know is this has produced tornadic activity. You heard Reed Timmer talking about it, and Mike Bennett, Emily Sutton, and John Welsh talking about it. And it continues with significant rotation, still a tornado warning in effect just north of Cushing, heading for Yale and Oilton. Oilton in particular, and even Yale. You know, you're kind of splitting hairs here because you're only talking about a deviation of a mile or two on the track. So Yale, Oilton, definite tornado warning here, and you want to be in your safe spot. I would not be in your mobile home in through here at all, and I'd be in a storm cellar or a basement, that safe spot you know of, interior closet or bathroom. I wouldn't mess around with this one. At Yale and Oilton, it has had a history of producing a hopscotch tornado in southern Payne County, east of Perkins, right around Ripley, and to the northwest of Cushing. Now it's to the northeast of Cushing, Yale, and Oilton. Let's go back to Mike Bennett with an update on that storm. Mike?
Okay, yeah, Mike, we're back on the move, heading east into Cushing. Yeah, I mean, the wall cloud is definitely isolated. There's nothing, there's not any precip wrapping around it, so we got a really good shot of it. And it's a kind of bowl shape. It's a lot firmer, but we're just not able to observe it long enough to see if there's anything in terms of local rotation that would indicate that maybe something's getting ready to spin down on it. But we're getting ready to top a hill here again and possibly have another view of it here in just a minute. Okay, we're getting ready to turn north here. The navigator's telling me turn north. Hang on just a minute, Mike.
Yes, Mike Bennett's doing a little driving here at the same time, and he has his brother with him, fortunately. And Mike, we appreciate the job you've been doing for the citizens of Oklahoma this week with the disaster down in Moore. We appreciate your service and your brother's service a lot. Mike Bennett lives in Enid, and you folks up in Enid, we know you're proud of Mike Bennett, and there's good reason for that. Mike Bennett is tracking this still possible tornado northeast of Cushing right now, and we still have this circulation that's kind of menacing down here to the west of Purcell. It's still pretty strong east of Dibble. So here's the overview right here. There's nothing directly approaching Oklahoma County. The dry line tried to fire. This one's weakened west of Guthrie. The dry line tried to fire here. It already fired a second time. This one came off the dry line, but this one's weakened. And then we have some hailers down here southwest of Chickasha, golf ball and larger. Hailers here, damaging winds, definite hailers. Elgin, Summit, Surreal, southwest of Chickasha coming up to Bailey. A lot of lightning there. Those are hailers there. And then we have a supercell here that's west of Purcell. So let's show you the current warnings right now and watches. Until 10 o'clock tonight, tornado watch in effect. And
rotating wall cloud halfway to the ground west of Rush Springs.
West of Rush Springs, rotating wall cloud. Okay, let's looking at the one out there by Cement and Surreal and Sterling. So there's a wall cloud. It's all mid-level, though, right now. This one's low-level, though. So tornado warning here for McLean and Cleveland. Tornado warning eastern Payne, northern Creek, southern Pawnee. That's heading for Yale, Oilton, Manford, and Keystone Lake. And that's had a history of producing a hopscotch tornado with some damage. Looking at velocities, looking at what Reed was saying, it looked like it might have been about an F1 or so, about an F1. Could have been a little stronger, but about an F1 the way it looked. But we'll see what the damage looks like because there is damage up there, kind of hopscotch damage. And no warning right now for Oklahoma City or Oklahoma County. So that's the overview. That's the broad view. That's where we are right now. Let's go to the storm tracker. And I want to zoom in down on this storm now that's heading for the far south metro. This is going to be south of Norman and near Purcell. Mark Dillard is still on that, still tracking it, has the live stream. Mark, what do you have?
Yes, Mike, you pulled a stream on Weather One, and basically the organization is still very ragged here at the cloud base, the wall cloud, and truly, Mike, the inflow is not all that great with it. I'm not sure if it's being cut off. The upper level support here at the cloud basis does not seem to be, for lack of a better term, right for what we're looking for here. We hope that it doesn't produce one, but all the parameters here are here today. We're just trying to figure out if the storm is trying to get to the right area to produce one, and that it hasn't found it yet, and we hope that it doesn't. But continue with very ragged, undulating clouds at the cloud base, but the wall cloud itself is broken up again and is very ragged, Mike. So as far as this one goes, I'd put it on a scale of about 2 out of 10 right now. Back to you.
Okay, appreciate that. Let's go to Chase Thomason. He's right here in the metro. Chase saw the Edmund tornado, on the 19th. He's been tracking these all around, and he's in the metro right now, keeping a very sharp eye to the sky. Chase?
Yeah, we've been tracking these storms here around Oklahoma City and the metro. Right now we're on Waterloo Road here in North Edmond and in Bryant Street. Now, to my north, near Guthrie, this is a developing supercell, but the good news is it's not severe. We've seen some small hail with this storm. It's moving towards the northeast fairly slowly, around 15 to 20 miles per hour. It's very high base. It's not severe, but the good news here around the metro, no severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings, but we've been tracking these storms here and around the metro all afternoon and evening, and we'll continue to do so. Mike, back to you.
Chase, just kind of looking out there at your picture, you've got a really good vantage point there for the metro. Just kind of describe to us about the character of those clouds and such. What's your professional opinion about all that?
We have definitely, towering clouds, supercellular clouds. We have the overshooting anvil and the mammatus underneath it. So definitely severe thunderstorm clouds. But around Oklahoma City, it's actually quite sunny. It's pretty windy, but we can see the severe storms towards parts of the Norman area that you've been tracking, and then towards parts of northeastern Oklahoma as my photographer kind of just zooms around. We have a good vantage point of all these storms, but here around central Oklahoma or the metro area, it's sunny, it's windy, it's muggy. And like you said, that dry line could keep firing, so we're going to keep a close eye on the sky. Mike?
Appreciate that, Chase, very much. We've got several crews right here in the metro just kind of hanging out, kind of standing by. And that's because, as Chase said, if the dry line were to fire again, Emily Sutton's right here, Chase is right here. We've got a couple other teams that are right here in the metro just kind of hanging out just in case something fires for the metro right now. Nothing has, and let's hope that trend continues. We've got crews not only on all these supercells, but folks that are just watching the sky for you. Let's go to the overview here, and let's look at the current watches and warnings. And tornado watch until 10 in the green. There are 2 storms that have tornado warnings on them. One is near Washington, Oklahoma. That's to the west of Purcell. Down in McLean County, about to come into the southern half of Cleveland County. And the other one is up here northeast of Cushing near Yale and Oilton. And that one's about ready to move out of our viewing area up into northern Creek County. And then we have some severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Pretty good hailstorm going on down on the Bailey Turnpike. Wouldn't recommend going down the Bailey in between Lawton and Chickasha right now with golf ball and larger size hail. Let's go to the storm scanner. Here's central Oklahoma, and you can clearly see where all the action is. Here's the one near Yale and Oilton. Here's the one that went up in Weekend west of Guthrie. Here's the one down by Washington. Here are the hailstorms down southwest of Chickasha, now coming into much of southern Grady County. Reports of mid-level wall cloud to the west-northwest of Rush Springs right now, and that's down in southern Grady County. Just hailstorms with that one primarily. Let's go back to the storm tracker and take a close look at this storm near Cole in Washington. And we've got Mark Dillard down there. Mark, tell us what you got right now.
Yes, Mike, still very ragged. In fact, it's about as organized as I've seen it today. Still have some clouds rotating here at the base. But really, the wall cloud does not have the characteristics that you would want to see or that you do see in a typical tornado-producing storm. I'm not quite sure what's maybe cutting this off, if it's the storm back to the south and west or not, or it's just in an environment that it's just not being able to get its act together. But it's very, very ragged, Mike, here at the cloud base. We're about let's say about 6 miles to the west of Purcell, and we're going to continue to be right here tracking it for you. Back to you.
Yeah, Mark, I don't see anything here on radar that says there's a tornado imminent on this at all.
Yeah, I think it's coming apart, Mike.
Yeah, I just don't. Right. It's definitely broadened out, and you can tell. I mean, look at it. It's broadened out, and it's flat. So I don't see anything here that looks especially threatening down by Washington. Not to say it won't ramp back up. I can also tell you the surface winds are not quite right currently. The wind direction at the surface is not quite right. A small change in wind direction at the surface can make a huge difference as to whether or not these things will ramp up or ramp down. And the surface winds right now are not quite me put that in the proper perspective. The surface winds right now are what you want to see to keep these from producing any tornadic activity. Okay, so we'll kind of reverse the way that is. We talk to our storm trackers a certain way, and sometimes that lingo doesn't quite jive, evenly with what we're trying to communicate with you. So